Aren't you guys? My name is Safia Quinn, your investor professor, and today we are going to talk about stock splits again because you guys were very interested in stock splits, wanting to know when they're happening and really jumping on them. And as the intelligent investor, I want to really make you aware of a few things, okay? So regarding stock splits cannot be predicted, okay? But there are some insinuations that companies give, okay? Number one being a high stock price. So a high stock price in a good or a company good that is, I would say, something that we use like on a daily basis, something that we're very familiar with. When that stock price starts getting really high, and high, I mean close to 500, and a really volatile stock, I would say anything close to maybe 900, that's a slight indicator that the stock might split, okay? Some historical splits, again, is just so you know that Apple has split 5 times since 1980. And I told you that if you bought Apple stock in the 80s, you are a millionaire today. So that's something to note. And NVIDIA actually split 5 times since 2021, right? So that seems to be like a volatile stock that is splitting a lot. Also, if you're paying attention to the CEOs of these companies and their statements, they may hint to stock splits when they discuss their earnings call. Amazon is one that has been hinting since 2022 of a stock split. Also, market capitalization and index inclusion, that when the stock gets too big, right? We talked about is that when the stock is too expensive, not a lot of people can trade it, right? So when not a lot of people can trade it, then it's, I guess you say, it's too big for its britches, right? So that's kind of an indicator, but index inclusion is one of the reasons why Apple split in 2014, so it can be down into the Dow 30 because it wanted to be a more viable stock. Stock splits brings more investors. More investors equals more trading, which equals more market capitalization, right? Okay. So that's to the next point, which is liquidity and trading volume. That high price and reduced liquidity are some reasons why the investors will push the stock to split. So some speculation in terms of what might split soon. NVIDIA, since it has split before and the price is up, I think it's like maybe 700 or something. If it's hitting its 52-week high and above, that's an indication that it might split. Amazon has some split rumors, we'll call it, and Alphabet, which is Google's parent company, has some split rumors. I own 2 out of 3 of those stocks, and I will tell you that, NVIDIA is probably a good one to jump on. But in the same light as stock split, I want to just summarize from the Intelligent Investor, because basically what he is saying here is that 2 shares of $50 is worth the same as 1 share of $100. But as an investor, you get a feeling when you have more shares of a stock. But that feeling is false, and you should definitely want to think about that company playing with your emotions, because the stock may split, right? But your dividends also take a hit, and you need to watch what the dividends do when the stock splits. Okay, so basically they're saying that a stock split is a kind of emotional pull that companies may do for their investors, to make investors, A, if you own the stock, feel like you're richer, and B, if you don't own the stock, have you come on in, right? So it's kind of like it's a company game that they play kind of with investors' emotions. So I would not get too excited about stock splits. I would definitely jump on them if you can, right? But if you can't, it's not that big of a deal. Meaning still invest, right? Still invest. And now if you think, okay, I'm going to buy a high price stock, right? And maybe that's too much for you. Maybe that's leveraging more money than you have, right? Then think about selling it and buying more shares of a lower price stock versus holding a higher price stock waiting for it to split. Okay, so I hope that does make sense. The Intelligent Investor on page 492, they have a whole section on stock dividends and stock splits. But the main point is that the splitting of the stock is a feeling, that it gives you a feeling of richness, and you need to know that the company knows that as well. Okay, so you guys feel free to put in any questions that you may have about stock splits. If you want me to do any research on stock splits, please follow me on YouTube at Investor Professor 25. And I also started an Instagram that I'm slowly migrating videos over. That is Investor Professor 25 as well. Thank you.